Hello everyone. In the previous video, we did the data preparation where we built this Docker image which contains this Kokoro TTS model inference with the API layer and then push this Docker into the Docker Hub account. In this video, we're going to see how we can deploy this particular application in a serverless mode using RunPod. Let's get started. In order to deploy this serverless inference, I have already logged into my RunPod account and make sure you have enough credits, right? Let's move to serverless section and click on new endpoint. So there are different ways by which you can deploy these serverless application in RunPod. So we are going to look into the custom deployment section because there are two different ways. In the previous video, when we did the data preparation, and we have also pushed this Docker container into the Docker Hub registry, right? So here we have the Docker container pushed as a public image, right? So if you have already done this particular step, you can use deploy from Docker registry. But if imagine that you are working on some kind of code where you're going to make constant changes, but you want to directly deploy it from the GitHub registry itself, you can authenticate your GitHub registry, use this particular option, and then deploy it. For this particular demo, we're going to use deploy from Docker registry. Okay. Once you have clicked on deploy from Docker registry, scroll down, and here you have to provide the Docker URL, right? Let's go ahead and copy this particular Docker URL and paste it here. Right. In this case, I have pushed this particular image as a public image, but there could be a reason by which you were working on an image and it is confidential. You cannot push it as a public image. In those cases, you can do the authentication using this select registry on. So once you click on this, here you can see that you can select the credential. For example, if it is a private image, I have already saved in my Docker credentials, and I can select this and then deploy this particular application, right? And then if I scroll down, there are a couple of other options. So the first one is the start command. Once you have deployed this Docker application, what is the first command that you want to run, right? And then you can provide the endpoint name. Let's say Kokoro Serverless, right? And then there are two different modes, right? One is queue and other one is load balancer. Okay, let's select the load balancer mode, which is typically used for fast API based inference, and it works with HTTP framework, so it's easy to set up. And for this particular demo, in this video, we're going to select the CPU runtime. But in the future videos, we are also going to do the same deployment with the GPU as well. Right now, the Docker image that we have built is a CPU based image, and hence we are going to select this one. And now you have to select the compute node. Right, for that we have a couple of different options. Right, let's go ahead and select the say CPU 5 compute optimized, and maybe have 4 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM, whichever you want, right? And here you see the since it's serverless, it's not going to cost all the time. It's just going to be costing us only when this particular instance is running, right? And it is charged based on seconds. It's 0.0000467 per second, right? And then if you are serving a model, you can directly provide the Hugging Face link here. What are the port that you want to expose? Maybe we can add the 80 port because we are running this particular port, right? The first API application. And then you can also add the environment variable engine. Your image expects couple of secrets or couple of other variables which are dynamic in nature. You can pass this information as environment variable from here, right? Right now, in our case, we don't have any, so we are all good. And then you can also select the size of the container disk. Right now, it's 5 GB. It's more than enough because we are serving a very, very small model. Let's go ahead and create the endpoint. Okay, I'm hitting on create endpoint, and here you can see that successfully deployed the endpoint. And let's basically it starts downloading the image from the Docker registry, and let's wait for the model to get loaded. Okay, we have the application ready. Let's go to the workers. Here we can see that we have 3 different workers, and two of all the 3 workers are initiated and are in idle state. So when these workers are in idle state, these workers are not getting charged. Only when you are invoking a request and these workers are active, RunPod will charge for that particular compute based on price of this particular instance. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this, and here you can also check the logs as we see that this is our Docker image, right? since we provided our Docker image URL, it basically downloaded this particular image from the Docker registry. And you can see that the download was successful. After downloading the image, the worker is ready.